if somebody was, supposed to be an expert and they failed a test, what do you think they would probably
Well, if they were
score,
supposed to be an expert
percentage-wise?
and they failed a test, in my mind, particularly when it comes to safety, I would say a failed degree of safety would, because we're talking about safety, I mean, it's kind of an absolute topic, right? You're either safe or you're not. I would say anything less than 85% would be a failure.
That is good. That's close, yeah.
May I?
You may.
I say anything less than the best is felony.
That is a fact.
That's right.
That is a fact. So, the Department of Homeland Security tested the TSA, and they failed with a score of 95%. However, hold on. That 95% was the number of times they failed.
Oh!
They failed 67 out of 70 tests.
Damn.
And these were things where one of the agents had a fake bomb strapped to him, walked through the metal detector, set the metal detector off, and still made it through with a fake bomb attached to him. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit crazy. This reminds me of a story of back in my dealing with the public days. I met a gentleman who had gone to China not long after I did, and we were sharing stories. And he said that he went to China on business. He got a call from his work, literally the day before, saying, "You're flying to China tomorrow. Pack your crap. Let's go." And so he just threw some stuff together, and we went. On the way back, he was trying to leave China, and he gets stopped at the airport, and they find a hunting bullet, like a .308 round in his jacket.
Significant bullet.
A big,
A .308 bullet in his pocket. What?
In his jacket pocket.
What the?
Well, apparently the story was he'd worn that jacket last on a safari hunting trip in Africa. And when they weren't shooting, he would eject the round and put it in his pocket.
As a safety
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So that was the last time he wore his jacket. He rushed out of the house to go fly to China and got there. And when he got there, they were accusing him of making arms deals. They said, there's no way the U.S. government allowed you to fly out of the country with that in your pocket.
You spy on us all the time. You should know we fuck up constantly.
Well, luckily he had his camera with him, which happened to have pictures from his hunting trip.
Ooh.
So he was able to justify that his story, to at least back it up a little bit, and they let him go. But they were sure he was making arms deals because they said there's no way he can get out of the country of the United States with a bullet on him.
Meanwhile, we find out in the course of
They
this...
hack us constantly.
We find out in the course of this security test that
it's pretty feasible.
It's porous. 95% failure rate. 67 out of 70 times.
67 out of 70.
People were able to sneak some kind of weapon, a bomb of all things, through.
Yeah, a fake bomb.
But meanwhile, I can't carry a goddamn bottle of water.
Or a pair of nail clippers because you're looking a little shaggy on the nail tip.
Just bite them. It's easier.
I'm not going to bite my nails. I like my teeth, and I don't want freaking tapeworms because you can get gross things from underneath.
I could use a tapeworm.
What
right
the
now.
hell are you digging in with your hands that when you bite your nails, you get tapeworm?
There's bacteria.
I work in an office. I don't have to worry about tapeworm
my dirty
in
ass
my
fingers
nails.
in my mouth constantly like some of these obvious you do.
Well, you're
hold
stuffing
on,
your fingers in
hold on.
something if you're getting tapeworm.
Hold on, Ben. You bite your nails, don't you?
No.
You don't? I thought you did. I do. Who was the last one here that was sick?
Get this guy a sandwich, for God's sake.
I believe Miggy was the last one that was sick.
I believe he was.
And it
the
took
last
him
one
like 3 or 4 weeks to get over it.
It was Sherry's fault. My girlfriend made me sick, and she's like, "I'm not sick." I was like, "The hell you are! I'm sick now. Thank you very much."
That's what you get for trying Sherry's berries.
She does say she does have some nice berries. I will say that.
Anyway,
Is that correct? That is correct. She's got nice berries.
So moving on, okay, from TSA to the prison system, but this is a foreign prison system. This is in Italy, where a mafia guy has a 14-year sentence. He's in jail, and he gets out an early release. You know why? Not because of good behavior, not because of a court appeal.
But does he make a good pecorine?
He might make a good pecorine, but he gets out because he's allergic to jail.
What?
He's allergic to jail.
I'm allergic to jail. That's why I've never been. I've been arrested, but I've never been to jail.
A man known as Giulio Lampada.
It's Julio.
No, this is Giulio.
No, it's him and no, he was hanging down by the schoolyard with that other dude.
Yes, but he's not Hispanic, so it's Giulio.
Oh, Julio.
Okay, Lampada, 44. He managed the affairs of the Condello clan. And apparently, in the 7 months that he was there, he lost so much weight because he never left the cell. He refused to eat anything other than the fruits and snacks that they gave him while he was inside. And after being visited by dozens of doctors, was finally declared incompatible. Not only with detention in prison, guys, but also with the transfer to a psychiatric wards. Apparently, this is what's funny to me. Apparently, a life of crime, this is his case. A life of crime, he said, had caused him to develop an aversion to men in uniforms, while the bars of his prison cell led him to developing depression. So they're actually going to let this guy go home and serve out his 14-year sentence at home.
Who's gonna
so that he doesn't starve himself to death.
You know that as the way our society's going here, I'm not surprised if that wouldn't work here as well.
Well, what about the guy that signed his own papers? He forged his own.
Yeah,
papers.
that was
a pretty good deal.
No, he
insane,
emailed. He
dude.
created the fake email. Yeah, that was crazy.
That's insane.
This has inspired me. I'm going to tell my company that pays me quite well that I'm allergic to work. And so I still want my salary and my benefits.
As you should be allowed.
I still want to be able to write off all the things that they let me write off. But I don't want to work because for all those years as a child where I didn't work, I developed an aversion to actually having to. And men in business suits scare me.
Yeah.
I think that's a valid case.
I agree. You should try it.
I call that the Giulio Lampada
Syndrome.
Syndrome, yes.
Yeah. So
Let me know how that works out next week.
I've got a feeling I'll get fired when
watch
express
that rug,
that to you.
Frankie.
David was kind enough to bring us another beer here.
Yeah, man. We talking about other beers. David, what do we have here? Make sure that mic's on.
Check. Oh, yeah, there we go. A
Whoa.
Cubano Espresso
Ooh,
from Cigar City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this was a little mafia tie-in he just brought in here for you.
Something to kill the heat from the other beer we had.
Kill the heat.
That was a great beer, and this is a great one as well. Cigar City never fails.
Yeah. This
Never
is,
fails to impress.
Actually, I had one of those.
This is my appreciation to you guys for letting me
Thank you,
make a
Dave.
fool of myself on the mic.
Well done.
Cheers. Thank you.
You did good.
Hey, don't feel bad. We make a fool out of ourselves in the mic on a weekly basis for
I
years.
can tell.
So.
Oh, that is correct.
Yes. Okay, so Caleb, this is actually one of my favorite stories. We talk about
It's so good.
regulation. We talk about those that make decisions on our behalf to protect us.
Oh, yeah.
We need to call Warren G.
Yeah, right. So a swingers club for swapping husbands and wife is busted. What they knew next is raising eyebrows. I had to read that headline just because it sets it up nicely. So this guy purchased a piece of property outside of Nashville in November for $750,000. After checking local zoning laws, he started making plans to build a private swingers club.
Right.
But the property backs up to a Catholic school or a Christian school. So apparently the zoning board passed an emergency law that you're not allowed to operate a club like that within 1,000 feet. So now his building that he bought for $750,000, he can't use it for what he wanted to use it for.
That's funny to me that he buys a property and he can't use that for people to swing and have sex, but the property next door is having sex with young boys.
Well, it was Christian, not Catholic.
Oh, I thought you said it was
specifically.
Catholic.
But,
okay.
but
I don't mean to offend then. I'm
No,
sorry.
no,
I wanna
no.
make sure
Well,
I-
no.
It's
To your
not
point,
much
though.
different.
To your point, I know quite a few Christian churches that double as swingers clubs. So
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Religion is a bottleneck. They
Yeah,
all go
well-
and they believe in the same thing, but some guys get mad at the other one
Yeah.
because one guy touches a kid. It's really strange.
yeah. Well, so
Ew.
this guy must have had the same idea as what we're talking about here because he decided to get around zoning laws that he would create a church
Well done.
for swingers.
Good for him.
So the building is now zoned as a church. They say that there's no sexual activity going on there. People can meet, and if whatever they want to do when they leave is up to them. But it's still a meeting place for swingers. But it's classified as a church, and the board had no choice but to approve it.
You know what's funny is you literally could make ESB a church of beer, and we could do it.
But I like this idea. So you go there to worship the strange.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Put your keys in the bowl before you leave, folks.
You kind of swap out, and then you leave, right? So I guess there's, it is a bit of, going to confession,
Yeah.
right? I confess that I want this other dude's wife. Right? That sounds right. And then you leave.
Yeah, I guess.
And then then she has to say 3 Hail Marys to make you absolved of your protein, or is that sins?
Same thing. Same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I love it when people can find ways to get around.
Why are you making fun of
ridiculous
religion?
laws.
It's not good.
On this show, in case you haven't noticed, Sancho, we make fun of everything.
Oh,
You have worked on this show for a long time. You know that, right?
I work hard.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
On other things that don't involve the show, you do.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're in agreement
Wow,
on
thank
that.
you, Sancho, for
Sancho
busting your
Sanchez, our producer, that fortunately chimes in too much. Again, on the regulation tip, and I do mean tip in quotations marks, this dude was kicked out. Okay, you got this world naked bike ride. This is actually in England. This is in Kent, in England. And
How do you spell that one?
it's actually spelled. It's spelled normal. It's KentChoustierShire.
Bless you.
Kent.
Kent. Yeah, that's right.
Because in England, like 11 letters in the word are silent.
Yeah.
Right.
Normal.
Everybody knows that. So you got this world naked bike ride in Kent this past weekend. And this dude was actually removed from the race because he was aroused by the sight of his fellow naked participants.
Oh, no.
So this guy's, popping his kickstand while they're getting ready to ride their bikes. And a witness said, it was funny because the Cambridge News interviewed this person, and the witness said, I heard gasps, and I turned around. It was a horrible sight, they said. It's fair to say he was overexcited and got aroused, and it looked like he was enjoying the event a bit too much. So they made this guy actually leave. Everybody got upset. The police actually escorted this guy out. I just think it's funny to me. It's like, it's a naked bike race.
Yeah.
It's, in and of itself, the notion that he's a pervert because he got aroused, but all the rest of you are getting naked to
call
ride
it
your
normal.
bikes. Yeah, but all the rest of you are getting naked to ride your bikes. So, to me, I think you're more odd if you're not excited
Yeah,
by
absolutely.
the prospect
unless
of naked
there's
women
just
in
no
front of you.
attractive people there.
Well, it is in England.
I'd buy that for $1.
So,
I
but
got this good. That's good. You hear that from RoboCop?
I'd
yes,
buy that for $1.
yes, Sancho, please don't oversample
I
this
found my
show
samples
like you
again.
do the rest of all of our shows.
God.
That
by
is
the
it.
way.
That is the last one.
Yes.
No.
But, yeah. Again, another example of the overregulation of things. And, he's a perv, right?
Yeah.
He's a perv because he got excited because some naked chicks were getting on bikes.
Boner's a boner, man.
I don't know what to say. But here's another overreaching regulation here.
This is actually another one of my favorite stories.
This is a apartment complex in Irvine, California. They posted notices, kind of like community news letters in the elevators, and it's got a lot, just news things going on. I'm going to say resident noise levels, and in bold print. We would also like to remind our African-American residents to keep conversation volumes down and reduce music levels between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m.
Damn. Ouch. That's not good. That is not good.
Where was this at?
In California, Irvine, California. And this is a great, a tweet that somebody sent back out that they brought it up to management, and one of the office managers said that she understands because her husband is black.
Okay, so she gave like the qualifier because the important thing is that if you're going to be racist, it's always important that you give a qualifier. Like
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
going to say
I got a black
something,
friend.
right? If you're going to say something about someone black, you gotta qualify it. After you say something racist, you got to say, "Look, I'm not racist. Some of my friends are black." Right? That's how you get
Yeah.
away from it.
No. Most of the people are like, oh, it's cool. My friend's black.
Right.
Like my friend.
You're one friend.
Yeah.
That's not really your friend, and basically hates
the guy
you.
you saw at the
Wait,
gas
wait.
station
Right.
last week on Tuesday.
There was that one guy at Lord Cheese's wedding, actually.
That's true.
He approached Lord Cheese and said,
Lord Cheese did in fact
And he
have,
sat at my table, which was awesome because that guy was funny.
He was cool,
dude.
right?
he
He's a
did
cool guy.
have a token black person at his wedding.
He was not happy, though. He walked up to Stacy and said, Stacy, man, I thought you said you had more black friends.
No, his name is Reggie, and
yeah.
Reggie's a trip, dude.
I actually walked up to Reggie because we were all at that table. It was me and you, Miggy, and a bunch of wops, a Jew, and a black guy.
yeah, and a frog. Don't forget the frog.
Hold on. So
A frog and a kraut because Sherry's
so,
German.
so it was Jewop,
Yes. So I walked. So Reggie didn't.
Frog.
Oh, here goes the racist Hanson over here. So